Is it ever too early to start getting your affairs in order? Well, if you're married, the answer is no. If you have kids, the answer is definitely no. And if you're over 40, the answer is get busy figuring out what your family is going to do after you pass away. So if you're married, you should be thinking about a life insurance policy or something, right? If you have kids, you should definitely be thinking about what would my family do if I got hit by a bus tomorrow. And if you're over 40 and you're not thinking about where you're going to be buried, how that's going to be paid for, who gets what and all that, then I am going to say it is now officially my opinion that you're way behind the 8 ball. My dad died in September, and he was 67 years old and had nothing in place. So we threw together a power of attorney. There was no will. Bank accounts were left open. No funeral stuff was taken care of. Nothing was taken care of. Why? Because he's an irresponsible guy? No, because he figured in his right mind when he was 40, 50, 60, 62, 63, man, I'm going to live until I'm 80, I got time to figure that out. Even when I had to sit down and tell him, because he didn't realize, when I had to sit down and tell my dad, listen, man, the doctor is giving you like 3 months, 6 months. Even then, there was no real sense of urgency. Like, wow, I got to get all this stuff lined up. So what that did for me, because, I've dealt with that since his passing, it makes me think, and I'm already planning what I'm going to do in the event of my death. I'm a healthy guy. I'm 34 years old. That doesn't matter because anything could happen, especially in the times that we're in. I think it's brought it to the forefront, and a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people are unprepared, and a lot of people are realizing that they haven't been taking care of themselves, and they haven't really been taking care of their family either. Because taking care of your family includes what your family's going to do after you're gone. Whenever that may be, hopefully it's not for a really long time. But for people that are older that don't have a will, don't have a power of attorney, don't have a funeral paid for, don't have these things in place, you got to get busy, man, because your kids and the people that are behind, that are left here, will have to deal with it. And you can't really grieve fully when you got to close bank accounts and figure out funerals and sign cremation papers and all this kind of stuff. When there's no plan, like if it's just like, okay, well, here's the packet that I have to sign, because so-and-so took care of everything and I just have to, dot the I's and cross the T's, that's fine. But when you literally have to figure all that shit out from scratch, I don't even think I've grieved my dad's death yet because I was too damn busy, So if you have a bunch of stuff, if you're American Pickers and you have a garage full of shit, who's going to deal with it when you're gone? That's what you got to ask yourself. And I don't care if you're 35, 45, 55. While you're saving another thing that you don't want to get rid of for some reason, ask yourself, who's going to have to deal with this when I'm gone? This antique mug, who's going to have to deal with that when I'm gone? Books, plaques, all this stuff, man. Figure out what you're going to do, right? Then collect whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Save whatever you want. But have a plan for it so that your kids and your wife or your husband or whoever isn't stuck with figuring all that shit out, okay? There are so many organizations out there that you can start paying like monthly. My grandfather did this. When my grandfather was 40-something years old, he was like, man, I had my funeral paid for since I was 45. I was like, well, at the time, I was like, well, that's kind of morbid, you know? But when it came time, when he passed, my grandma and him, all their shit was taken care of. Because he had paid it off. He had paid off a package by the time he was like 60 years old or 65 or something like that. So when he died, it was just like sign here, sign here, sign here, call this phone number, and we're done, you know? That was not my experience, but that's okay too. So that's it, man. If you're married and you have kids, or you're over the age of 40 and you're not thinking about and planning what happens in the event that you die, get to work. Get to work. If you love the people in your life, don't leave them with that. Leave them with, it's all done. It's all settled. It's right here. It's on this piece of paper, right? This is where this goes. This is where that goes. This is how this gets done. And have it all set up. Because I'll tell you what, man, it's the most stressful thing to deal with when dying is a pain in the ass for the people that are still alive. Okay? It's sad. It's all of those things. But I never realized how complicated it was to deal with somebody, to deal with all the legal stuff and financial stuff and all just the logistics after somebody dies. So do yourself such a stress reliever. Do yourself and your family a favor and take care of it now while you're healthy. That's it.